Okay, I sent you any of the article like there's a code. Delete that. I emailed you. I just paste that when I emailed you right in there. I have to switch up the Awesome, thank you so much.
Is it not working?
No, okay, so
I just don't. It's dark. Are they going to turn on those lights? Probably not. It's just lights.
line please continue. We do have a jam-packed luncheon today, and we'd like to get started. For those of you who do not know me, I am Cheryl Batdorf, the president of the Community of Lebanon Association, and it's my privilege to serve you, the members. We have a wonderful board of dedicated people on the CLA, and I would like to start off my comments today by recognizing them. As I say their name, I'd like them to stand and remain standing until we can collectively recognize them. Jack Cantwell, Diana Hartman, Norma O'Toole, Brenda Phillips, Kim Kreider-Umbel, Craig Gates, Greg Bercali, Robin Getz, Christian Zellers, Karen Groh, Daryl Cox, Val Stokes, Melissa Kolbitsky, Bob Hoffman, Emily Williams, and Vin Garcia. Thank you to the board. As with any member association, it is our job to represent your interests and also to provide opportunities for you to not only network, but to learn about what's happening in our community and other educational opportunities. Of course, today is dedicated to our State of the City address by Mayor Sherry Capello. When we look back on this beginning of the year, these first 2 months, it's been an exciting time as your board continues to implement its strategic plan, and we are quite excited about the direction that we're going. However, we cannot provide any of the activities in the community or events like this without your sponsorship and your commitment. On your table, you will find 2 flyers for upcoming events where we would love some additional sponsors. It's the Egg Hunt. We bring between 300 to 500 young children to the Egg Hunt every year, and we use 5,000 eggs for them to scramble. So it's a lot of fun for that event. The other event, and this is the event that I think has the most visual impact for our city, and that is the planters and hanging baskets. Stony Bridge provides wonderful florals and other plantings for those items, the planters, and they're very, very visible, and we get a lot of feedback on those. So if you have the desire to be a petunia or an orchid sponsor, we'd love to have that as well. So let's turn our attention to today's sponsor. I'd like to invite David Warner from Busgen Davis Law Offices to the podium. They have been serving the Lebanon community for 59 years. David.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'll make this quick. I know we have a busy agenda, but I'd just like to give everybody a few highlights from Busgen Davis at the 10,000-foot level since we were here last year. Again, we appreciate the opportunity and the privilege to sponsor this event that we've been doing for quite some time now, and we look forward to hearing the mayor speak. Just a quick review. Since last year, since I was up here a year ago, we have been named for a second consecutive time as the best law firm in the Lebanon Valley by the Lebanon Daily News. So we appreciate all of your votes for that and your continued support and utilization of our firm. We've also surpassed 1,000 likes on Facebook, which for a not very socially media savvy firm a year or 2 ago, I think we've come a long way with that. And certainly we'd encourage you to like our page on Facebook. We try to engage with you there and provide you with some relevant information. And also kind of my own personal highlight, along with my partner Tim Huber, and thanks to the trust of the county commissioners, Tim and I handled the county side of the negotiations for completing the Cedar Haven sale last year, which was obviously a significant undertaking for the county and for our firm as well. So again, thank you to the commissioners for entrusting us with that responsibility. And just quickly, I'll introduce everyone. Of course, the man who's the smartest guy in our firm, who's in Florida right now, is Bernie Busgen. As he is annually at this time, he'll return in a few weeks. Just a few weeks ago, just shortly, we just bid farewell to Mary Burchick, who just recently retired from our firm and has transitioned her domestic practice over to myself and some of our other associates. A few folks couldn't be with us today due to court obligations. Tim Huber, my partner, Scott Grenoble, and Brett Wiest. And I'll then announce folks who are with us here today. Ed Coyle, one of my partners. Ed kind of specializes in personal injury cases and estate planning. Mike Bechtold, Mike's the solicitor for Lebanon City School District and also handles personal injury and family law cases. Jason Schippinger, Focuses on workers' compensation, personal injury, social security, disability. Associates Kelly Nur. Kelly's taken over significant family law practice from Mary Burchick as well and is handling custody, divorce, child support cases. Joe Crow, one of our new associates. Joe's handling a wide variety of cases right now as he kind of gets a little bit of taste of everything and gets to do, as we call it, as the partners may assign, so at this point of his career. And Jen Merks, our longtime estate paralegal, recently passed the bar exam last spring and now handles our estate probate and administration, the administration of those things. And last but not least, our office manager, Leslie Spears. Leslie is the glue, the cement, the whatever shotgun that keeps us all together. So thank you, Leslie, for your help. Again, thank you for your time, for the opportunity to be here, and Mayor Capello, we look forward to hearing you speak.
Nice to need no introduction. Hi, I'm Jack Cantwell. Your master of ceremonies for today. Welcome to this CLA event. It's grown into, I think, our premier luncheon event, and today, the turnout today is no exception. I would like to, before we bring the mayor up for her presentation, I'm going to recognize some dignitaries, and I'm going to start off with something very special. First of all, Senator Mike Fulmer, who is with us, he brought along a very special guest, and we would be remiss in not bringing this gentleman to the podium to say a quick hello to our CLA audience. To my knowledge, this is the highest ranking Pennsylvania official that we've ever had at a CLA luncheon. So please, a CLA welcome for our Lieutenant Governor, Michael Stack.
Well, what a great time I'm having. I'm so happy to be with you at CLA, and I'm going to come back, and I'm here because my friend Senator Fulmer thought it would be a good idea, and I'm spending a lot more time in Lebanon County. And it's a great county, and Mayor, I'm really looking forward to hearing your speech, and thank you so much for having me. Mayor Capello and also Jack Campbell, I would have been glad to introduce you, Jack. But I met Senator Fulmer when he came to the Senate, and he was Citizen Mike. And they made the big mistake of putting him on the Senate floor right next to me. And so I'm a Democrat from Philadelphia, and he's a good Republican from Lebanon. And they watched us, and he's a Philadelphia Phillies fan, if you didn't know, and so am I. And we were talking and joking, and then we started getting into trouble and misbehaving. And eventually, I believe, Senator, you got removed. You got placed up front where they could watch you. But we continue to be friends, and now I'm in the front of the room with him. So, but I just think that we have a great state in Pennsylvania. And we can do so much better, and we all know that we're not doing anywhere nearly as well as we could in job creation and investing in our young people and moving the state forward. And I always say, whether you're Democrat or Republican, liberal or conservative, we all agree that this state can be one of the best in America. Do you agree with me? Can be in the top 5? So that's why I'm so happy to see all of you here today, all of us together, and only together can we move this state forward. So I'm delighted to be with you. I know it's going to be a great speech, a great lunch, and we look forward to seeing everybody and continuing to work together. Thank you so much. God bless you.
While I have the opportunity, I'm going to put Lieutenant Governor Stack on the spot. We kept his remarks brief today, but Lieutenant Governor, if you would like to come back and be our speaker at a future CLA event, I think we would welcome him, wouldn't we? I'm going to quickly cover other dignitaries who are in the room. We want to get, I've got 5 minutes or less to get the mayor to the podium to stay on schedule, and we actually are on schedule. Hold your applause till the end. Let's greet 102nd State Representative Newly elected Russ Diamond is here. Russ. Representing Maureen Gingrich's office, Carissa Mullinger. Are you here? Yes, good. We have a full attendance from the Lebanon County Commissioners, Bill Ames, Bob Phillips, and Joel and Litz, all here today. That's wonderful. From the City Council, we are represented by Wiley Parker, Tony Matula, and Wayne Carey. Thank you. City Solicitor Donna Brightfield is here. If there's no fires going on in the city, he's still in the room. Wayne Troutman, where are you? Okay, good. And Police Chief Dan Wright is right there at the same table. Magisterial District Judges, we have 3 of them. Maria Disner, Tom Capello, alias the First Man, and Tony Burnett. Philanthropist and Lebanon supporter and one of our truly great citizens, Frank Dixon. Are you here, Frank? Well, he was signed up, so he might be stuck in traffic. From the educational community, we have a nice representation. Representing HAC, Dr. Ski and Lori Bowersox are both here. Louis Thane, who is the head guy at Lebanon Valley College. Dr. Thane, thank you. And at the school district level, Marion Bartley is here. So, Marion, thank you. Carol Quist from the Lebanon County Historical Society is here. And she was her organization was a big help during our recent bicentennial. Susan Everly, representing Lebanon Valley Economic Development Corporation, is here. Greg Buckler, Lebanon County Chamber of Commerce, Lebanon Valley Chamber of Commerce is here. Elizabeth Bowman and Daniel Lyons from the Redevelopment Authority of Lebanon County. And finally, last but not least, my pal Kenny Mojito from the United Way. So thank you all for being here. Now before I introduce our main speaker, I'd like to repeat a brief informal marketing survey that we did last year. As a good marketing guy, we have a benchmark and then we have to follow up and see if there are any changes. So how many of you, raise your hands, born and raised in Lebanon and have been here all your lives? How many? Okay, I just did a mental count. Okay. How many of you have relocated from another area and have settled in Lebanon? All right, that includes me. And what we have here is a dynamic mix of people who are natives and didn't want to leave, and other people from the outside who recognize all the value and the wonders of Lebanon County and choose to make this place home. Now that the 2 groups have something in common, you've decided that Lebanon is a place to grow your business, your family, and your education. Now, in order to keep that lifestyle moving in the right direction, the city has to steer a plan in the direction to keep things moving. And that takes strong listening skills and a feel for vision and leadership. And we have just the person to take charge of that responsibility. We have a mayor who believes in the value of formal strategic planning and an open dialogue with community leadership and organizations like the CLA and the Lebanon Valley Chamber of Commerce. Ladies and gentlemen, time to turn the podium over to our city's visionary leader, Sherry Capello.
Thank you for that great introduction. And talk about pressure. I'm talking for the Lieutenant Governor, so. Well, good afternoon, community of Lebanon members and guests. I would like to thank Buskin Davis Law Offices for sponsoring this event and the Community of Lebanon Association for hosting. I also want to say thank you for my handy-dandy new flashlight because it's definitely coming in use today. As the mayor of Lebanon City, it is my privilege to share the state of the city with you. I will highlight my 5th year in office, and I will share my goals and objectives for the city in 2015. Our local dignitaries, including City Council, were recognized, but I would like to acknowledge my senior staff members. If you could please stand. we would not have completed some of the accomplishments in 2014 that I will share with you today. For the past 5 years, I've spoken about healthy communities and what fiscal stability means. Again, a healthy community is based on its appearance, cleanliness, street maintenance program, condition of its water and sewer infrastructure, employment base, average income of its residents, and the amount of crime within the municipality. Fiscal stability for a municipality means that on an annual basis, the municipality can pay for the services it provides, meet the required financial commitments for its retired employees, and provide for future capital projects that are a part of its infrastructure and public safety mission. My assessment of the state of the city is as follows. Turning to fire safety and property maintenance, these areas fall under the responsibility of the Department of Public Safety and the leadership of Fire Commissioner Dwayne Troutman. There are 21 career and about 45 volunteer firefighters who responded to 1,030 calls for service in 2014. Volunteer numbers have remained constant over the last several years, but have dramatically decreased from a decade ago when we had 90 volunteers on the roster. This, unfortunately, is being seen across the country. Less than 10% of the calls for service were for actual fires. The call total for 2014 is the lowest since 2002. The first 4 months of 2014 were extremely busy with structural fires that were often hampered with difficulties caused by severe winter weather. There were 39 structural fires in 2014 compared to 54 in 2013. Losses due to fire totaled over $1.7 million compared to losses of $1.2 million in 2013. Fortunately, there were no deaths related to a structural fire. The city has use of 5 engines, 2 ladder trucks, a rescue, and a squad truck. The average age of our fleet of pumping engines is more than 23 years, with the oldest being 37. The National Fire Protection Association recommends the replacement of apparatus 1990 or older. It is without question that these engines are well maintained. The city is fortunate to have the services of the volunteer fire companies that own all apparatus but 1 engine. In an extraordinary display of cooperation, the Perseverance Union and Liberty Fire Companies agreed to fund 2 new engines and upgrade another. The cost will total almost $1 million, with $205,000 of funding coming from the city. The city was able to make this contribution due to the receipt of $1.5 million from the Norfolk Southern Railroad. This incentive payment was made because the city improved public safety by eliminating at-grade crossings with the construction of the 9th and 10th Street bridges. There are 13 active volunteer members of the City Fire Police who assist the fire and police departments with traffic and crowd control at emergencies and public events, perform fire and incident scene security and apparatus security. In 2014, they volunteered almost 1,900 hours. For approximately 11 years, the Fire Police used a 1992 utility truck that was obtained from the Lebanon Authority. It served the Fire Police well, but age and electrical capacity were a growing problem. In a wonderful demonstration of support, the Union, Perseverance, Liberty, Chemical, Washington, and Independent volunteer fire companies, along with the city, used state grant monies to order a 2014 Freightliner Sprinter for the Fire Police's use. The Sprinter was received in October of last year, and the total cost of the project, funded through the grant, was about $52,000. For the last 5 years, we have focused on fire scene accountability and other safety improvements. Some of the goals for 2015 are to focus training on the transmissions of and reaction to a mayday. More than 10% of the nation's total oil production is shipped by rail. The daily bulk transport of fuels and chemicals that traverse the city by road and rail places the fire department in a position of providing an adequate response. Although the city has an engine with a phone system, this engine is slated to be sold in 2015. A grant for a phone trailer has been approved for purchase this year. The phone trailer and equipment to be carried on all engines will enable the rapid deployment of resources should there be an incident. Apply for a grant for the purpose of replacing self-contained breathing apparatus. To replace all 45 units would cost almost $300,000. In planning for the future, discussion is needed concerning the integration of the city's radio communications with the county system. There are problems associated with the operation of 2 separate radio systems. The commander has to communicate on 2 radio systems with distraction of the fairground, ambient noise, apparatus sounds, and other concerns. Radio transmissions can easily be missed, including an emergency call of a firefighter in distress. The city would like to brainstorm with county officials regarding this matter. Looking at property maintenance and other health and housing items, the key to the preservation of property values and the maintenance of neighborhood integrity and attractiveness is property maintenance enforcement. The number of new cases in 2014 was a little over 1,600 compared to about 1,800 in 2013. The trash category continues to represent the highest number of violations with a count of 1,087, or more than 66% of all new cases. Last year, trash complaints represented 55% of all new cases. Approximately mid-year, we instituted a pilot program combining enforcement efforts between zoning and property maintenance. While still in its infancy stage, it is noted that this cooperative effort is proving to be of great benefit to the city by improving communication between the 2 areas, which has had a positive impact on enforcement efforts. Regarding eating and drinking establishments within the city limits, there are 221 that are licensed through the Public Safety Department. The city handles its own health inspections instead of utilizing the Department of Ag inspectors. We believe we have better control and can provide a timely response locally. Changes to the food code now require each licensee to post information on where their inspection results may be found. In 2015, we will continue to make logistical improvements, including the implementation of new software and the use of rugged notebooks, which are ideal for mobile field work. The use of the new software and hardwares will allow the inspectors to spend more time on the street rather than the office and eliminate a duplication of work. These improvements will enhance the efficiency and accuracy of administrative operations. Our Community Development Director, Melissa Canones, continues to oversee our grant monies, community and economic development projects. A decade ago, the city received $1.23 million in community development block grant monies. In 2015, we will receive about $618,000, or half of what we received in 2004. Although funding continues to decrease, in addition to funding some city services like inspectors and extra patrols, the city was able to provide more than $111,000 to the City of Lebanon Authority for water main improvements. In 2012, the city was awarded grants totaling almost $1 million from the state and county for improvements to Coleman Memorial Park. Phase 1 was completed in 2014 and included improvements to the amphitheater, parking lots, entrance, and a new walking path. In early 2014, the city began planning for a new playground project, which represents Phase 2. Phase 2 should go out to bid in spring, with completion by fall 2015. The Elm Street program was established approximately 6 years ago within the northwest quadrant of the city. This section of our city has the highest transient population, multiple dwelling units, and subsequently the lowest medium incomes. The purpose of this program is to connect members of the neighborhood and help empower the residents to take collective ownership in caring for their neighborhood together. The program's biggest accomplishment last year was a job fair held at the Lebanon Valley Family YMCA. There were a total of 26 employers in attendance and over 200 job seekers. My last community development initiative involves economic development. In 2011, the governor approved $3 million in funding for the Partridge Street redevelopment project. The city, in partnership with the Redevelopment Authority, acquired 36 properties and relocated 24 families. An archaeological investigation commenced in January of last year, and 3 additional remains were reinterred in March from the former Zion Lutheran Cemetery to Mount Lebanon Cemetery. Demolition of the houses was completed in August. The city then met with our engineer to discuss the widening of Church Street so two-way access could be made possible to the site. We believe this is vital to the successful marketing of the property. Presently, the city is waiting for utility poles to be removed so that actual street construction can be put out on bid this summer. A request for proposal for the highest and best use of the site will go out later this year. The goal is for the proposed use to have a positive economic impact on the city. The KOC incentive package provides a tool for the marketing of environmentally challenging sites by abating taxes on future improvements for up to 10 years. In 2014, the city, through its partner, the Redevelopment Authority, signed an agreement of sale with Battery Warehouse for one of the Snyder Drive lots. Settlement will occur in 2015. Currently, the owner leases 1,500 square feet in the city, but as a property owner, he will construct a new 9,100 square foot building. He is proposing to expand his business by occupying about 4,500 square feet, and he will have the ability to lease 1 to 2 additional units. Additionally, plans are being prepared for a potential grocery store and an elementary school in Aspens. We will continue marketing of the LERTA program, which assists the developer with making major improvements to existing unproductive commercial properties in a specified area of the city. The LERTA abates a portion of real estate taxes on major improvements over a 5-year period of time. We believe that Hidden Still Spirits and Tasting, located at 435 Willow Street, will be our first application. Hidden Still will be the first craft distillery in Lebanon County since Prohibition. In 2014, the Woda Group received approval to renovate and reuse the A.S. Kreider building located on North 8th Street for 51 and 2-bedroom affordable rental housing units for senior residents. Woda plans to officially commence renovations early this year, with construction to be completed by the end of the year. The city met with several other developers in 2014. One developer proposes to renovate and update the Lebanon Daily News building and provide for a more productive use of the building. The Lebanon Daily News would remain, and several retail uses would be added, with the possibility of a restaurant facing the rail trail in the future. The city also is excited to share that the Pennsylvania Renaissance Fair has purchased the residual warehouses from Sowers Printing located along North 10th Street. They will utilize the buildings for stage, set, prop design and construction, stunt effects design, testing and construction, and storage. A millennial couple from Texas will be moving their online businesses to the Mann Building. This will bring over 20 employees to the downtown. In addition, they purchased the Raisin Hill Mansion, which they will utilize for a special event venue. A new restaurant will open this spring in the space previously occupied by Nico's. We are pleased that this higher-end craft grillery is coming to Lebanon. After stabilization of the building, Gus Duraco's will be reopening at the same location. Another project that broke ground in 2014 was the Ed and Jeannie Arnold Early Learning Children's Center at the YMCA. The city received a matching grant from DCED in 2013 for Phase 3 of the Early Intervention Plan program. Phase 3 is to develop an economic development strategic plan to retain and create jobs for our residents and bolster the tax base to support the community. The process kicked off in October of last year. DCED also gave approval to amend the contract to include completing a study for a business improvement district. A bid is a public-private partnership in which property and business owners elect to make a collective contribution to the maintenance, development, and promotion of their commercial district. The services provided by the bid would be supplemental to the services provided to the district by the city. The bid study kicked off in December. The Economic Development Strategic Plan will be completed in April with a public presentation on May 5th of this year at HAC. The bid study will be completed around June. The city needs to seek ways to effectively leverage our many economic drivers and assets within our regional market area. Therefore, economic development will continue to be our priority in 2015. Regarding crime and the public safety, the Lebanon City Police Department is committed to providing a high level of service to the members of our community under the direction of Police Chief Dan Wright. Police departments measure their crime rates by the number of Part 1 crimes. Part 1 crimes consist of 2 categories. The first is crimes against persons, which include homicide, rape, robbery, and assault. The other is crimes against property, which include burglary, theft, motor vehicle theft, and arson. For more than a decade, the crime rates show a trend of declining Part 1 rates. It must be noted that we experienced a slight increase in the 2012 to 2013 numbers. However, the 2014 rates show a return to the declining rates with a significant decrease from the 2013 counts. A direct comparison of 2004 to 2014 indicates a 41% reduction in Part 1 crimes. In comparison to 2013, the 2014 counts show a decrease in crimes against persons by 23%. a decrease in crimes against property by 21%, and an overall decrease in Part 1 crimes by 22%. Clearance rates are an indicator of how departments measure their ability to solve crime. I can report that the clearance rates for Part 1 crimes exceeded the national average in all categories except homicide and robbery. The department also had an 83% clearance rate for all violent crimes, which is far above the national average and is exceptional. To continue, there were 3 homicides in 2014. However, there were only 2 separate incidents that accounted for the 3 deaths. In both incidents, persons were found deceased in their residence from gunshot wounds. In both incidents, the deceased persons were involved in the distribution of narcotics. Both incidents are still under investigation. Robbery was down 50% from 2013. Street robbery was the most predominant with 19 counts. 3 counts were convenience or retail stores compared to 21 counts for 2013. 6 counts were residential robberies and 3 counts were unclassified. The decrease in robbery counts of 50% is significant, as well as the decrease in robberies of retail or convenience stores. Theft experienced a decrease of 19%. This is the most common crime in the city and impacts more citizens than any other. The total motor vehicle thefts was 12, down 11 counts from 23 in 2013. This is the lowest count for motor vehicle thefts since 2000. Burglary decreased by 24%. Burglary counts have fluctuated over the past decade, and investigations are time and resource intensive. We will continue to attempt to develop strategies to keep burglary incidents down. The city had 2 violent crime incidents one could categorize as street crimes, where persons were injured by gunfire or gunfire was involved in the commission of a crime. Arrests have been made in both cases. This represents a decrease in street crimes from a count of 4 in 2013. These types of street crimes have a profound impact on the perceptions of citizens and members of the community and require a proactive response by law enforcement. There were 6 incidents classified as random gunfire incidents. An arrest was made in one of these cases. This was the same number of incidents as 2013, but a decrease from a count of 17 in 2012. These are incidents where evidence of gunfire can be documented, but police are unable to establish whether or not there was criminal intent, and there was no clear victim in the incident. This is a case of a random gunfire incident where the officer was able to apprehend a person, and we were successful in taking an illegal gun off the streets and arrest the subject for possession of synthetic marijuana. The department is committed to continued diligence and reduction of violent crime. Part 2 crimes are less serious crimes like forgery, embezzlement, vandalism, criminal mischief, sex offenses, DUI, drug abuse, disorderly conduct, and similar types of crimes. Criminal mischief decreased by 16% from 2013. The 2014 count is the lowest since 2002. Drug arrests are up 76 counts or 58%. Overall, Part 2 crimes are down 4%. The clearance rates for the Part 2 crimes is 67%, which is slightly higher than prior years. The city participates on the Lebanon County Drug Task Force. In 2014, the Drug Task Force investigated 154 cases involving 203 individuals. The total street value of the drugs seized had a street value of over $103,000. The city recognizes that drug use continues to be a concern and will continue to support the Drug Task Force in its endeavors. Some of the department's goals in 2015 will be develop a drug activity complaint process that provides feedback to complainants in a timelier manner. Further implement the principles of intelligence-led policing within the day-to-day operations of the department. Develop a plan to increase the diversity of the applicant pool for new hires. Maintain high clearance rates for Part 1 crimes, specifically violent crimes, and continue the trend of reducing random gunfire incidents and street crimes involving firearms. Regarding the Public Works category, this department consists of engineering, highway, traffic control, parks and public property, building and zoning, and recycling, overseen by our new director, Robin Getz. 2014 was the 5th year of operating the Public Works facilities with a further reduced workforce. The most difficult adjustment has been the acceptance that some of the operations like leaf collection, yard waste pickup, snow and ice removal operations are taking longer to accomplish with the fewer personnel available. Additionally, the city had to contract out some winter maintenance in order to provide a better response. Most time spent in the department is on cutting grass and weeds. Street sweeping is the second highest amount of time spent, with plowing, salting, and snow removal third. Some of the highlights in 2014 and goals of 2015 are as follows. Last winter season, the city saw more than 50 inches of snow. According to the National Weather Service, the average snowfall for Lebanon County is 21 inches. In the last decade, the city exceeded the average snowfall 3 times, all during my tenure, of course. We have received more than 39 inches so far this winter season. The city spent almost $195,000 for winter maintenance in budget year 2014, compared to about $69,000 in 2013. When the city and authority split in 2006, the paving equipment left with the authority. This placed the city in a position where it had no equipment to properly repair potholes with hot mix. I am pleased to report the city has purchased an asphalt roller and will purchase an asphalt hot box in 2015. These purchases were made possible with the Norfolk Southern incentive monies. The average age of most vehicles and equipment in public works is 20 to 25 years. Other necessary vehicles and equipment will be purchased from these monies. Regarding leaf and yard waste disposal, prior to 2014, all leaves and yard waste were removed on a regular basis with no tipping cost to the city. Due to the loss of a large client, the company could not continue removing the materials at no charge. The city attempted to pursue other options to no avail, and the result was we returned to the original company and are paying for their services. The city is receiving a grant from DEP in 2015 to purchase a leaf vac, which will require fewer employees to operate than our current model. This is important when working with a limited workforce. Due to construction of the 9th and 10th Street bridges over the Norfolk Southern Railroad, modifications were made to the traffic signals to address the detour. After the bridges were both open to traffic, the engineers revised the timing sequence by implementing a model from a comparable city. However, it was realized within a short period of time that the timing changes actually hindered traffic flow through the city. PennDOT was contacted and a request made to revert to the former timing before the bridge construction. The request was approved in December of last year and the changes made in January of 2015. The Municipal Separate Storm Sewer System, or MS4 program, involves all of the surfaces that rainwater comes in contact with, such as streets, driveways, catch basins, inlets, storm sewer pipes, and outlet pipes. The goal is to prevent pollution from these surfaces from running into our creeks and streams. The city experienced one major incident last year when more than 12,000 gallons of sanitary sewage was discharged into the city's storm sewer system. Due to requirements by EPA, the city has added over $120,000 of cost to its annual budget, and more stringent regulations will be added to our new permit in 2018. An emergency action plan which identifies potential emergency conditions at a dam and specifies pre-planned actions was submitted to the state for Stavers Dam in 2014. Additionally, a breach analysis study is required to determine the highest runoff event during which a dam failure would cause a threat to life, health, property, or the environment in areas below the dam. Phase 1, which involves an underwater inspection, was conducted of the dam's breast in 2014. Further steps will be taken to complete the study in 2015. As reported last year, the winter season created havoc with city streets. The 2014 paving schedule was revised to address the issue of potholes on several major streets. Building code and zoning permits remained constant with 2013 permit numbers. The city issued 235 building code and 143 zoning permits for 2014. The value of construction costs increased from $7.2 million in 2013 to $11.5 million in 2014. Concerning recreation, parks, and playgrounds, the number of camping permits issued at Stavers Dam Campground increased by 8% in 2014. A total of 336 campers utilized the park. This department is under the direction of Debbie Gates, the Deputy Mayor, and the Director of Administration. Almost 11,000 swimmers utilized the public pool in 2014. Attendance increased by almost 18% from 2013. Pool receipts increased by more than $10,000, with almost $49,000 for the 2014 season. An important safety enhancement was made in 2014. The city converted the disinfection system from chlorine gas to liquid chlorine. Leak detection services and other repairs were made last year. Due mainly to necessary safety improvements, expenses for the pool totaled almost $128,000 for 2014. This represents a significant increase from 2013. For many residents, the pool is their main source of recreation and is essential to their quality of life and is a strong factor for continuing pool operations. The city negotiated 3 collective bargaining agreements in 2014. They represent very reasonable agreements that result in a savings for the city and a modernization of the benefits that will assist the city in addressing the impact of, among other things, Obamacare. The city has made inroads with addressing some of our higher personnel costs, like post-retirement health insurance and current employees' share of medical costs. The ASME contract was ratified by City Council at the February 2015 council meeting. The Firefighter Local 1952 will be ratified at the April council meeting, and the labor agreement with the Police Bargaining Association remains unsettled. We worked diligently in 2014 on all components of a new, improved, more informative website. This initiative has taken quite an extended period of time, and that is because we completed all of the work in-house. We did not have the $60,000 to $80,000 for a new website, and the new website costs slightly over $2,000, and it is hosted through the County Commissioners Association of PA. This is an example of what the website will look like, and we anticipate its launch very soon. In 2015, administrative goals will be to finalize the police contract. We will oversee completion of some additional pool repairs. We will continue to update the employee safety manual, and we will complete the conversion of software services for accounting, payroll, and land management applications. Regarding our financial stability, the split from the authority in 2006 definitely was a financial blow to the city. We lost about $1 million a year in cost sharing and subsidization, and the move required the city to raise taxes to make up for the loss. The city would have experienced deficits in 2006, 7, and 8. However, one-time supplemental income was utilized to balance the budgets. In 2009 and 10, the city experienced general fund deficits. In 2011, which represented the first budget that my administration created and administered, the city did not experience a general fund deficit. The city also did not experience a deficit in 2012 or 2013. These surpluses were accomplished by making some difficult decisions. We eliminated 17 full-time and 9 part-time positions throughout departments, replaced some full-time with part-time positions, negotiated a 2011 pay freeze, recognized and eliminated 2 administrative positions in the police department so we could keep more officers on the street, transferred dispatching to the county, decreased non-personnel spending such as supplies, materials, maintenance, and repairs, increased fees, and as a last resort, we raised taxes. Another area that assisted in this achievement was accountability. We implemented layers of control and improved staffing in the finance department by hiring CPAs, or persons educated in accounting, so we can ensure there is no waste, fraud, or abuse in our operations. During the 2014 budget adoption process, I warned that 2014 was the year I thought we would experience a deficit again. In all of the budgets my administration prepared, we proposed utilizing excess carryover to balance the budget. In all actuals, with the exception of 2014, we did not need to utilize the carryover. Our performance in revenue and expenditures was better than budgeted. That was our plan and was how we were able to improve our financial situation in the short term. In 2014, although we once again performed better than budget, it was not enough. We had to utilize the excess carryover. I am detailing this for you so you will better comprehend why taxes had to increase by $1 million in 2015. The carryover amount is only about 1/3 of what is standard, and we dipped into it. We cannot afford to do that again. An editorial from the Times leader Wilkes-Barre published in the Lebanon Daily News last week stated, "Too many measure government's success or failure based on one thing. Did my property taxes go up?" Governing isn't simple. The city's early intervention plan 2 reported that despite the commendable actions taken to improve the city's fiscal situation, due to projected flat revenue growth, coupled with higher expenditures, the city would again experience operational deficits unless we take additional action to avert the problem. It is recommended that we consider generating revenue through increases in real estate, earned income, or real estate transfer taxes, and/or we seek ways to reduce costs. But Pennsylvania Economy League also recognizes that there appears to be little room to make additional cuts without impacting services. Over the last several years, non-personnel spending was cut almost in half, and debt service fell by 50%. As a result, personnel costs increased to well over 80% of expenditures. Retiree benefits, including pension and health care, have seen the largest absolute growth in the personnel expenditures category, while salary and wages actually declined. This is a reason why it was so important for us to decrease post-retirement benefits for existing employees, to eliminate for new hires, and to increase current employees' share of medical costs during our recent contract negotiations. City budgets are statements about priorities. Should services be preserved at the expense of additional taxes? Should more money go to police, economic development, or human resources? But budget choices also are products of the fiscal, demographic, and political realities that are unique to an individual city. Third-class cities in particular expend their largest share of resources maintaining the most fundamental and much needed services of police and fire protection. Most municipalities have very low protection costs because they rely on volunteers. Cities, in contrast, mostly have paid departments or combined departments. The uncontrolled costs associated with municipal pensions, binding arbitration decisions, and unfunded mandates, coupled with an obsolete revenue structure, create an unsustainable situation for even the best fiscally managed cities. We will do our absolute best to adhere to the recommendations from our early intervention plans. It is going to require us to make difficult choices, very difficult choices over the next several years. To conclude, I have shared our progress, concerns, and achievements with you today as promised. I spoke about the indicators of a healthy community. Our appearance and cleanliness have seen improvement. Our most transient populated areas are the most challenging. In meeting with developers from across our state and country, all of them were impressed with Lebanon City. They thought it was generally clean with great architecture, good bones, and close to transportation corridors. These new partners are enthused about growing their business here. We continue to struggle with adequately funding our street maintenance program, but an increase in liquid fuel monies will improve this item. The City of Lebanon Authority does a tremendous job of maintaining and improving the condition of our water and sewer infrastructure. L&I is indicating that jobs are up in Lebanon County and unemployment has declined to the lowest rate in more than 6 years. The workforce in the region is growing steadily with the largest gains in leisure, hospitality, education, health services, and manufacturing. We continue to address workforce development issues, and our growth in low wages remains a concern, but the increased need for technical jobs will eventually replace low-wage and lower-skilled jobs. Serious crime has decreased by 41% from a decade ago. A capital reserve fund was established 2 years ago, and although we could not add to it in 2014, it will assist with future capital projects. The fiscal stability of the city improved over the past few years. However, these efforts only placed us in a better position to handle the financial difficulties we are facing. In comparison with other third-class cities, our health is better than many others. I once again make a comparison to 6 other cities with a similar sized population, and even with the 1 mil tax increase in 2015, Lebanon City has the lowest taxes with no mills specified for debt service. This is a remarkable positive attribute. However, I stress again, we will have some difficult decisions to make over the next several years regarding raising taxes or eliminating services. My administration has worked tirelessly to improve our situation in the areas that we have direct control over. However, I will continue to emphasize that Lebanon City needs the state to assist in our efforts by providing new options and implementing programs and laws to help us succeed. Many individuals and companies have made investments in Lebanon City. There continues to be positive momentum, growth. 2015 will be an exciting year with new businesses opening in the city. The state of the city has improved over the past few years. However, we are now at a crossroads with difficult choices to be made. The future of the state of our city will depend upon governing. Governing by the city, but more importantly, governing by the higher levels of government who control the reform needed to succeed. I believe we have accomplished what we can at our level. We need reform of property taxes, pensions, binding arbitration, economic development, and revenue enhancements in order to reach sustainability. I will forever be our cheerleader. There is hope, and we will continue to look to our future and work hard to make positive things happen in our city. I truly believe that. And with that being said, I continue to believe Lebanon is a great place to grow your business, grow your education, grow your family, and grow your community. Lebanon, the place to grow. Thank you for coming, and God bless Lebanon City.
Thank you, Mayor Capello. Wonderful presentation, as usual. We always promise to get everybody out of here at 1 o'clock. We've got 3 minutes, so that would allow time for maybe 1 or 2 very brief questions. Anybody have a question of the mayor? Going once, going twice. No questions, you're off the hook. Thank you, everyone. Meeting adjourned, and drive safely. Thank you. And thanks again to Lieutenant Governor Stack for being with us, and thanks again for Buskin Davis, our annual sponsor. Thank you.